can still stick a needle in my eye. I'll do this. If you watch the whole video, boom, boom, right there. So I put a little bit of growth hormone in each of the fibers that I want to synergize and amplify and make it concise, compress all of that pure fucking goodness into one. I've been insecure about my height since I was a little fucking kid. I was called Half Pint and Little Brian. I'm multiplying my strength, and all that stuff is what I would have said a long time ago. Liver King 2.0, but Liver King 3.0 is the holy trinity of the truth. And the truth is, I wasn't taking growth hormone right then, but I was putting a needle inside my arm a couple of times. Still only 5'7" at best. Probably legit 5'6" and a couple of fucking centimeters, man. I used to wear these big fucking boots, and I would put things all inside of the boots, even after the fucking heels. You didn't even know the fucking lifters inside, you guys. And I would put my seat up all the way, the electronic seat in the car while driving, and just make sure the passenger side always had it down. And then I would basically break off the key inside the lock, and then you couldn't use it or couldn't go up and down, because I thought that it mattered. Endowed with the capacity that we probably did nothing to earn, AKA your height. Insecure about a thing that you didn't earn to begin with. Insecure about a thing that is a paltry thing of flesh, because my dick went to the left and I took Adderall, and it still does go to the left. You know, all of those little things, taking growth hormone, I still take, actually in my eye. I don't know how close I got. That seemed very fucking close. But remember, testosterone cream, that's what I do. I'm not taking another steroid. And I'm happy. I would love to share blood tests if anybody would like to know. I don't think anyone cares. In fact, I think some people do care, and Joe Cohen has all of my blood chemistries, because the truth is just the truth. It's all on self-decode. He's my high priest. And if you want to see objectively, what an absolute mess. Metabolically, probably still pretty fucking fit. Remember, I only have one eye, and I was sticking that in the dead eye, the eye where, you see that? There's no retina there. So look, I'll do it again. I don't really see out of the, I could be on it, right? I might not even be claiming a lie. Fran, sub-minute 3, lose 20 pounds, gain 20 pounds. It just depends on your goals. Go 20 hard. Yeah, boy, tip of the hat, Danny Blowflex, you deserve it. But the truth is, do some growth hormone. A little bit more growth hormone right there. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. Joe Cohen from Self-Decode, my high priest, who has helped me reconnect to lightning bolts, to full send, surrender, nothing but the truth, so help me. That's all it is, so help me. So help you, so help. We are all connected. And if we can just express this one beautiful through line, which is, use a BiPAP device, not even a CPAP. CPAP wasn't strong enough for the king. BiPAP, I hadn't been sleeping right. It's the things that I thought that I would be embarrassed of, that I've integrated into my shadow, that's multiplied my powers. Joe Cohen, show all my blood chemistries, Self-Decode.
What? One of the worst things that we can do is celebrate a man's broken body image, right? So it's late at night, I'm browsing Facebook, and I see this post from Generation Iron. The Liver King 3.0 is here. And apparently he's completely transparent with his steroid use, but this is not the place to talk about this. I don't care about all that. What I do care is about mental health, especially for men over 40. As some of you have noticed, this channel, yes, it's about kettlebells, and I'm realizing that men over 40 have become the target audience. Women over 40 as well, but men the most part. And because kettlebells resonate so much with this demographic. So I feel it's valuable for me to talk about this. It's late in the evening, but I want to make this video. I want to make it quick, but I think it's important. And I want to talk to my audience, the people who follow this stuff and watch this stuff, and mental health. I'm not an expert on this, but I love how Dr. Peck describes it in The People of the Lie. It's a great book that you should read. He says, good mental health mental health defines the capability of oneself to always hold a firm grasp with reality. I love this. even though sometimes it might be painful. So I'm adding this. So this train wreck of an Instagram post from the Liver King. Why am I talking about this? I'm not Greg Doucette. I'm not a drama channel. I don't care about that. What I care about is the insecurities and the male body image. And I think that video is a good snapshot of a mind that has lost itself to its insecurities. So in that video, he's juicing up. I don't even know if that's the needle that you're supposed to use. So he's using apparently some growth hormone, injecting it into his shoulders, and then he talks about his height. He talks about some really crazy stuff. It's like he's in the Matrix. And I think one of the top comments is like, bro, you need some help. And I think that's the case. So, but let's not focus too much on the Liver King. It just sparked this idea of this video. And why I'm doing it is, if you lose yourself to your insecurities and to a broken body image, which many men are subjected to in the world of fitness, I was there too, but I'm grateful that I was able to escape that route, and kettlebells have been part of it as to why I was able to jump ship and not go under in the drain of a broken self-perception in the world of muscle and looking bigger and looking jacked. Not that I'm not trying to follow this, or not that I want to pursue looking like this, but I think now I have come to terms that I have a healthy self-reflection of my body, that I like to push limits, that I want to see what my 40-year-old body and even beyond is capable of, and I'm inspired by other people who do the same. But I recognize and realize my limitations. I know where I am. I know who I am. I was playing with the thought of taking roids back when I was younger, but thank God, and that is through the bodybuilding realm and through social media, and it has blown up to an extent that if you're younger, it's tough. It's tough. But that Liver King video is crazy. So the first thing that he struggles with is his height. So I think I'm 5'8" or 5'7", 170 centimeters, or 1 meter and 70 centimeters tall. On average, when I look other men, I know that other folk, I don't consider myself small in stature, but compared to other folks, I am. And I always said that. I wish I was 180 centimeters or 6 foot. I wish I was that tall. Then there's that body image thing. I wish I was a little bit more muscular. I wish I had a bigger back. I wish I was a little bit taller and had some more flesh on my body that I could really turn into some solid muscle. I wish I was like 185 and 88 kilograms solid muscle mass. Yeah. I wish, but it's not the case. And now, since this is not the case, and I know I'm not going to grow any taller, and I've realized that my body's potential is probably not the potential that other folks have. I gotta struggle a little bit more to keep my muscle mass and build muscle mass, and I have to be happy with the fact that where I am is a good place. This is not an easy thing to do, and I understand his struggle with height, because I have similar issues, or a similar insecurity on the outside. I'm going to reflect later in the video on why I think I was able to overcome this. And the second thing that he talks about is the muscle. So this guy was always pretty self-absorbed with his body image, and he had a pretty narcissistic perspective of himself. And he was on brand with, I'm not doing steroids because it's not primal, it's not, you know, the natural way of doing things, blah, 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 which we now have all realized it's not the case. But the issue is that he is struggling, not just from a muscle perspective where he thinks, I don't have that amount of muscle that I want, or I can't keep it naturally or build it naturally. The other issue is also, I probably don't have the strength capacity. And when he went off cycle, if he ever went, we don't know if that's true, he recognized that he was losing strength and gains. And losing strength and gains can also be an issue for your body image, especially if you're not that tall, right? So you try to compensate not being tall or not having the perfect height that you probably have envisioned. I'm sure the guys that are 6 foot, they say, I wish I was 6'5" or whatever. Then you want to compensate with, you know, being stocky and big and blah, blah, blah. So, and there was this one, I don't know where it wasn't an article, but this one guy said, if people always refer to you as Big Stan, this is ingrained into your DNA. If you hear the name Big Stan your whole life, guess what? You want to remain Big Stan. And if that big is now gone, and now they only call you Stan because the big has escaped you because of age or whatever, or because you've stopped the steroid use or stopped the cycle, then you believe that the part of your DNA has died. And this is going to mess up big time. Or this is going to mess with your body image big time. So that little adjective, big, big, your name, can be a danger in and all by itself. Because as we know, as we grow older, we're probably not able to maintain that muscle mass. And then if we do, we probably get into that cycle where we then look like Michelin Man and we look completely stupid. We look like a dwarf, right? We're 1 meter and 50 tall, 1 meters and 60 centimeters tall, and that wide. You are as tall as you are wide, as we say. And then you look like Michelin Man. You look stocky. Yeah, probably stocky, but you also look stupid, right? You don't look like a solid weightlifter. I think weightlifters are the body that I want to emulate. But that's on a side note. And now I want to talk about why I think I was able to overcome this. I think the reason why I was able to overcome these insecurities, especially in today's day and age, is because I don't consider myself or any human being for that matter as a deity, something to be worshipped, or something that I can put my faith in that stands the test of time and it doesn't waver, that doesn't budge, that doesn't go left or right or up or down. I have placed my faith in God and Christ. And I think this is the major reason why I'm not going down into the rabbit hole of a completely broken body image and a man riddled with insecurities. It's probably the easiest thing to say like this. If you have something else above you, you know, for some people they might say, well, it's my children or it's my wife or my parents or whatever. That can be a good thing, but the way I see it is I can place my faith into something that is immovable, that stays the same yesterday, today, tomorrow, and forever. And I know where I'm spending eternity. I know that this body right here will break down. I know that the earth that we live on will break down. I know that everything is going to waste. And I know that my soul survives. This is one of the most important aspects where I also think it's important to make sure that I always keep a firm grasp with reality, to uphold my mental health and tie it to the well-being of my soul, because the outward appearance is not everything, right? The muscle, this is not everything. I think more important than this is this and this, right? Having a good heart, having a loving heart, being empathetic, and being smart about it. And this Liver King video, I think so many men suffer from this, right? So many men suffer from a completely broken body image. And then you always think you have to be muscular. You always think that if you lose the strength you once had, you lose value as a human being. You probably think you lose value to your surroundings, to your society, because now I can't protect my family, and whatever kind of excuse that you come up with. I mean, you can be as strong as you want, as muscular as you want. A bullet stops everybody, right? A knife stops everybody. So that being said, taking care of your mental health, I think training can do good, and it can also be a two-edged sword, or it can be a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. And I think the description is a two-edged sword. It can help you, but it can also break you completely. Building strength can be a good thing until strength in and all by itself becomes a deity that you worship. And on the altar of strength, you sacrifice everything else. And if you're not able to bring any more offerings to your God of strength or muscle or body image, or put whatever aspect of physical quality and fitness that belongs in there, if you're not able to offer any more offerings, you are not worthy. And that can be dangerous, right? And I think that's one of the reasons why some folks over 40, 50, 60 still are on cycles, still take drugs. And just recently, another bodybuilder passed away, and I think he was 35. He leaves back, I think he's survived by a wife and a young baby, where, bro, really, man? Really? And that Lebe King video is just that, it's a walking example of a completely shattered body image riddled with insecurities that doesn't get help, and even worse, is still in the limelight, and the light is shining on that guy, completely shining through him. And I think it's not a problem to have insecurities. We all have this. Somebody recently said in an article that we like to medicate pain and we like to take the pain away, but we forgot that part of living life is pain. And I think the same is with insecurities. The same is with all these negatives that surround us all day. I think to a certain extent, we're supposed to live with these negatives. We're supposed to cope and handle these issues of life that are not comfortable, that get under our skin, that can burn ourselves, that can really become a huge issue if we don't deal with it. And dealing with it actually then makes you stronger. Overcoming the fear or the desire, that unhealthy desire or worship of strength or muscle, overcoming it and actually realizing, you know what, I've lost some muscle, but I'm good. I've lost some strength, but I'm good. I'm still pretty strong for my age. I still think I look aesthetically pleasing for my age. And I don't think it's an issue to pursue these goals. However, once they become gods, this is where the rubber meets the road. And I think that's exactly why God said, don't make no other gods before me, because whatever you worship, all your energy will go towards that thing. And that thing that you worship before God will ultimately be your downfall. So fitness, well, I think is a good thing, can be ultimately your downfall. The way this guy looks, I think the guy seriously needs some help. And he's not the only case. I think there's a lot of people, a lot of men who suffer in silence from this type of issue. And it can be really frustrating. Then you go to the gym and probably don't see that results. And then you think, okay, I got to take a shortcut. And then you look at other people where you think, all right, it's not impossible. So I've mentioned this in a recent podcast. Then you walk around and think everybody else who was able to achieve what you weren't achieve, everybody else who achieved what you weren't able to achieve, you now think that they were cheating or they were taking something, and now you're trying to downplay it and diminish the actual competence it takes to achieve some certain level of success, which is a video in and all by itself. And I talked about this in my recent podcast with Levi, but that mental health thing and that insecurity and body image thing for men, I think that's a big issue. You always look into the mirror and you're never satisfied. And I recognize that feeling. I recognize it. And when I jumped completely into the kettlebell sphere, and I bypassed that typical bodybuilding type stuff, and then I look back, I was like, ooh, I was pretty jacked. But back then I thought, nah, man, it's never enough. And I think that's a human tendency. It happens everywhere. It happens with the money. It's never enough. It happens with, in my case, for example, the YouTube analytics and the numbers and the views. It's never enough. You're never satisfied. And YouTube creates a certain path, builds this whole thing in a way where you get accustomed to higher numbers. So therefore you are never satisfied because you always reach for the next goal. And once you hit that goal, or maybe once you get a viral video, you're not satisfied if you don't hit those same numbers. And the same is with muscle. It can be said of any other thing in life. And it boils down to what God said, and that is, do not make any gods before myself. And I think it's one of the solutions to proper health or mental health, and avoiding a shattered body image and avoiding a completely broken mindset that this guy is in. Maybe he plays it, right? Maybe he's clowning everybody. Maybe he's trolling everybody. Maybe he wants attention. He's now getting it, right? I'm talking about him. But even though I think it highlights a certain aspect that I wanted to share in this video, but I don't care if that's a fact. Even if he plays it and it's not his actual issue that he has, I still believe taking care of your mental health and those issues that many men are plagued with at least can be mitigated to a certain extent if we give our life to Christ and give our life to God and say, you know what? There's something way bigger than me. There's something way bigger than muscle. There's something way bigger than strength. And this is the ground that I want to build my house on. The Bible even says this. You don't want to build your house on sand. You want to build your house on solid ground. And this is where I want to stop this video. I hope you appreciate it. Stay safe. God bless you. And I'll see you in the next one.